Yo! Kumusta? Today we will be reacting to a video called Filipino Culture is Funny. What's different about the Philippines? From the channel, The Filipina P. This is not the first time that I react to her videos, and I do enjoy her content, especially her street interviews. I don't believe I've reacted to her street interviews. And do you know why I prefer her street interview videos to her face cam videos? It's because when she does her face cam videos, I feel like she is being kind of robotic because she is, I think, reading from a teleprompter, you know? But when she is doing her street interview, she's being herself, she's being natural, she is laughing, you know? When she's doing her face cam video, she feels way too square, way too proper for my taste. But I think that the video that we will be reacting today is a face cam video. Before we start though, maligayang pagbabalik sa aking channel. Ako po si Ovela, I'm a sound engineer, beatmaker, and content creator on YouTube. And without further ado, let's jump right into it.
Hi folks, the Filipino P here.
Hi folks.
And almost everyone that's considering visiting or living in the Philippines has asked the question, so what is it like? You know it's gonna be different, but how?
See, I thought it would be interesting to react to this video because I've been to the Philippines, right? I stayed there for almost a month, so I know how things are. And I am going back very soon in November of this year, and I'll be spending 6 months there. So I will be able to confirm some of the things that she will be saying in this video.
Customs, the roads, the language, the people. Well, you might think it's just a sunny paradise that's otherwise a lot like your home country. But it's actually different in so many ways that I hardly know where to start.
Yeah.
Even you guys.
She is definitely reading from a teleprompter because she never makes mistakes. I'm obviously not reading from a teleprompter because I make a lot of mistakes. I say a lot of and stuff like that, you know? And I like it this way. It's just more natural. I don't even remove those, mistakes when I edit my videos. But her videos are like perfect, and have you noticed the pauses between her sentences and the crazy intonations when she speaks, you know, because she's reading from a teleprompter.
That have lived here a while are still getting used to things. And today, I'm gonna talk about a few of those differences I bet you didn't expect.
I bet you didn't expect.
Welcome to the wacky way of life in the Philippines. It depends on your genitalia.
Huh?
Warning to feminists, you will definitely be triggered by the following information. If you're the kind of woman that's likely to make a scene when told to segregate by sex,
Where is she going with this?
The Philippines may not be for you. When you approach the entrance to a mall or other retail establishment, you might be asked to enter through a special door marked Women's Entrance. Yep, I kid you not. There can be separate entrances for males and females.
Really?
Where both sexes will have their personal items in.
I have not noticed this in the Philippines. Personally, I would not have thought that it's weird or strange because I have seen this done in Algeria, where I am originally from, you know, like they separate male and female. I don't think it should be that way, you know, but if they do it in the Philippines, I would not be shocked or surprised. But sincerely, when I went there and stayed for almost a month, I did not notice any of this.
Inspected before they're allowed to go shopping. While it's rare that your body will actually be touched, it's not unheard of to get a pat on your lower back. I suppose they're looking for explosives or other illicit items being smuggled inside.
Nah.
But why the separate doors? You might assume it's so that women can be searched by.
Yes, there are security doors at the entrance of every mall, but they barely check, to be honest. Yes, sometimes they look inside of your backpack, but they never search you, you know? Like a TSA pat down at the airport.
While the men are checked by other males. But 90% of the time, all the guards doing the inspections are men. Maybe someone can tell me what's going on in the comment section, because I have no clue. But the good news for you foreigners is that for some reason, you won't be subjected to the same level of searches that the locals are. And you folks will often get waved right on through.
True.
It might make you feel embarrassed or guilty that you get preferential treatment, but that's just the way it is.
Yeah.
So,
that's
enjoy
true.
it. Breaking the piggy bank.
Especially when they recognize you, because that happened to me. Like the security guard actually recognized me from YouTube, so I was like, the security guard was surprised, so of course they did not check me. They were like, oh, it's okay, just come in.
If you've entered the mall in order to pick up a simple toy for your child, get ready to hold onto your wallet. Filipino kids generally don't have as many toys as their Western counterparts, and this could be one reason why.
Too expensive?
In the West, cheap Chinese toys are available everywhere for a couple dollars. But here, the same items can cost up to 5 times as much.
Why?
For example, this My Little Pony only costs $7 at an American Walmart. But here, the exact same toy is $48.
What?
No wonder the average Filipino
Maybe
kid
it's a
doesn't
much,
have
much
a
bigger
bedroom full
pony.
of toys. Who can afford a week's wage for a piece of plastic? The weird thing is that these toys come from the same place, China.
So what's the explanation?
Which is a lot closer to us than it is to you.
Yeah, it does not make
So
any
what's
sense.
the reason for the big difference in prices? Once again, I have no clue. But when I have a kid, I'm gonna teach him to play outside. Wash it yourself.
Okay.
Speaking of expensive toys, if you're trying to buy a household appliance,
It's probably something about legality when it comes to import and export, like an understanding between the two countries.
don't expect to find one like you're used to. Things like dishwashers and clothes dryers are often about twice as much as they cost in the West. Unless you want to buy the little toy versions like this one, which is completely made of plastic. Yes, these are the actual appliances, not something you find in the same department as easy bake ovens. Now this washer's a little on the small side, but at least it's only $360 US. Why so cheap? Because it's a floor model with a hole in the front window.
What?
Duh. Not only are appliances incredibly expensive, but you can imagine how difficult it is to get them serviced. Most parts have to be ordered, and good luck finding someone qualified to install them. So it's no wonder that washing machines and dryers are considered luxury items, and even comparatively wealthy Filipinos just hire a housekeeper to do the work by hand. So you can see 10 million peso homes with
Yeah, that's what I've been told. I've been told that it's actually cheaper to just hire a household maid. I don't like that term, to actually clean for you, clean your place, clean your clothes, everything. It will come cheaper compared to actually buying a dishwasher or a washer for your clothes. Personally, here wherever I have been, I have never used a dishwasher. Maybe I've used it a couple of times in my lifetime, especially when I've invited a lot of people to eat at my place, But since I live alone or when I used to be in a relationship, we're only 2 people, It's so easy to just wash your own dishes, right? So dishwasher, I don't need it. But just a washer and dryer for clothes, yes, especially here. But in the Philippines, I actually did not need a dryer because it's so hot in the Philippines. You can just let your clothes dry outside, on the balcony or something like that. Or even in the room, to be honest. Just leave it for a few hours and it'll be dry. But a washer for the clothes, that is necessary. I really do not want to wash clothes by hand.
clotheslines strung up in the backyard. I'm about to do a video on how to locate and hire a good housekeeper.
Oh, that's good.
And if you're gonna be living here, it's one of the best investments you can make.
For sure.
So stay tuned.
Yes, okay, that I am interested in since I do plan to live in the Philippines. Let's go.
One step to disaster.
One step to
For
disaster.
some reason, Many Filipinos aren't very interested in having a front yard. Even nice homes are sometimes built right against the road. And I do mean right against it. You could literally take one step outside your front door and get hit by a truck. I'm not sure why we do this, but it's a fairly common sight, especially in the city. It's much more likely to...
I know why you do this, because we have the exact same problem in Algeria, where I'm originally from. It is something that developing countries do. It's because they want to take advantage of the space that they have in front of a door. It's supposed to be left for the sidewalk, you know, but because in a third world country or developing country, there is corruption and there are no regulations. People take advantage of the lack of regulations and, you know, they just build on top of the sidewalk.
Have a backyard, but even those are usually pretty small. We like to build our houses right up against our property lines, but it doesn't leave much room to enjoy the great outdoors. Four-lane roads
outdoors
aren't. As anyone who's visited the Philippines knows, the roads here are used for lots of things besides driving. The streets often become parking lots, places for animals to sleep, vendors to sell their products, and people often just stop their cars in the middle of the road, turn on their blinkers, and go inside a store to do some shopping. Even four-lane roads...
You know what? It did not bother me at all. I just found it charming. But if I live in the Philippines, I am thinking that eventually it will bother me. I'm pretty sure that it bothers Filipinos because they actually live there, you know. But for foreigners, I think, who are just passing by or staying for a little while, they will think it's charming, I think.
Are just two-lane roads with parking on either side. You can't really drive in the right lane for more than just a short distance, which means that if you want to pass someone, you have to go into oncoming traffic to get around the guy in front of you.
Oh my
After
goodness.
that, the fact that drivers here don't look what's coming when they pull out into the road. It's actually your responsibility not to hit them, which doesn't make sense to foreigners.
Yeah.
But don't say I didn't warn you. All this makes for some exciting afternoons behind the wheel. But it's one of the things that makes the Philippines what it is.
See, it's strange. She keeps talking to foreigners in this video, but she did not mention it in her title. You know, in the title, she just says Filipino culture is funny. What's different about the Philippines, you know? I think she should have mentioned that this video was directed to foreigners.
Is lemonade stand or liquor stand. But aside from all the irritating things you'll find blocking your way out there on the street, you're also liable to find something you just don't see in the West: homemade liquor for sale. Yup, many Filipinos sell their own kind of moonshine called tuba, which is made from palm tree sap. We climb the coconut trees, collect the sap from the bud up near the top, then ferment it with bark from a mangrove tree. But the most interesting thing is that
tuba.
here in the Philippines, private citizens can actually sell their alcohol to the public right on the street.
Interesting.
It's usually about 250 pesos or $5 per gallon. So it's a lot of bang for the buck. Now I know you're wondering about things like health inspections, permits, and licenses, and all kinds of government oversight regarding the sale of homemade alcohol. But that's Western thinking. This may be one of the only things that's actually easier to do here in the Philippines. So when you want to pick up a little pick-me-up, you can probably find it alongside the road on your way home.
Well,
And
I
if you
don't drink
have
alcohol,
time to
so
stop at a local
this does
sari-sari
not
store,
pertain to me.
Just send your child to pick it up. On more than one occasion, my parents asked me to stop on my way home from elementary school
That's
and buy a jug
crazy.
of tuba. And I was never once asked to produce my 6th grade ID.
That's crazy.
2 left feet. Have you ever noticed that when you're out walking around with Filipino friends and one of you steps in something nasty, it always seems to be you? It's because every Filipino is equipped with ground-scanning radar that alerts us to the presence of rocks, mud puddles, cow patties, dog poop, and the lunch trash that someone decided your feet might like a taste of. We take it for granted that every surface is a minefield. And it's pretty funny to watch all the stumbling and bumbling that you foreigners have to go through to get from point A to point B. So don't get frustrated when your Filipina acts as a seeing eye dog and keeps calling out all the crap in your path. You might feel like a feeble old man being guided down a flight of tricky steps. But in reality, we're just trying to help.
She exaggerates. She thinks that foreigners, yes, foreigners from, I feel like she's speaking to North American foreigners or maybe European foreigners, But there are a lot of foreigners out there who are used to this kind of stuff, I'm used to it. I lived in Africa. I lived in Algeria. I lived in Kenya. I lived in Morocco. I lived in Canada. So I am used to it. So she's generalizing foreigners here.
And because we don't want to have to be the ones to clean the poo off your shoe. Just remember, your next step is never as safe as your last.
Okay.
The fleeting greeting. So let's move on to some cultural differences that'll help you out when dealing with Filipinos. When you're meeting one of us for the first time, if you don't want an awkward encounter, forget everything you've ever learned about social protocols. If you're older than the person you're meeting and you reach out for a handshake, they'll probably think you're asking for respect and take your hand and press it to their foreheads, which is a gesture called mano po. It's all about age and status here, which can make foreigners very uncomfortable because most of you guys don't base respect.
Well, see, I already knew of this, but I have not seen it in the Philippines. Anywhere, I have not seen a Filipino do this to an older person, Yes, Filipinos use the term po, as a sign of respect, but I have never seen them take the hand of someone and just put it on their forehead.
On age. It's based on merit. But you'll quickly find out that shaking hands isn't really a thing here.
True.
And for you Europeans who are used to a quick kiss on a cheek or even a double peck.
Filipinos do shake hands, but you can tell that it's not a thing because even when they shake your hand, it's not a firm handshake. It's actually pretty soft, They just go like this, kind of afraid to shake your hand, But in the West here, it's like a firm handshake. Yo, what's up,
Don't do it. It'll not only be seen as very presumptuous, but your behavior is bound to be the topic of conversation just as soon as you leave the room, and not in a good way. It's pretty much the same thing with hugging. Filipinos occasionally hug, but it's used more sparingly and for specific reasons. Generally speaking, we're just not a very touchy-feely people, especially in public.
True.
And if you goof up, what you really have to worry about is the reaction of your Filipina. If she sees you leaning in to hug or kiss another woman for any reason, even if it's her mom, you'll awaken the beast within. So prepare to get mauled.
Oh, please. She's exaggerating.
Well, that's it for today. And I hope you enjoyed hearing about just a few.
She is exaggerating. You will not get mauled. They will just be confused. They will ask, why are you doing this? Or they will even laugh and be shy, You're not going to get mauled.
Of the things that makes the Philippines different from your home country. I could do 10 videos like this and not even scratch the surface. But that just gives us more to talk about next time. Speaking of which, I'll see you in just 3 more days with a story you'll never forget.
Okay, so yeah, she is saying that she can make more videos about this. I don't think so. Even in this video, I felt like some of her ideas here were a stretch, But okay, it was still entertaining, I can give her that. Yeah, tell me in the comment section below if you agree with her or if it's slightly a stretch, Yeah, so maraming salamat po, and if you found value in this video, do not hesitate to check out my other reaction videos right here.